Alright, this is Coach.
I'm the kid, and after a long break, we're finally back, and now we're going to talk about everything that's happened since we've been gone. We've had a bunch of different trades.
Yeah.
Our team looks totally different now. As you can see, Simone Fontecchio is on our team, along with everybody.
You don't say that, man, that name like you knew who he was before.
I was trying to tell you he was somewhat
you
good.
Didn't know you. Okay, so you've been scouting European players behind my back?
No.
You did not know that man. Where you know him from?
From Jazz games where I saw him dunk on folks and shoot.
Dunk on people?
Yes.
Okay,
He's got some bounce. He's not a star.
No, he's not a star. we gonna talk about what else we gonna talk about?
We're going to talk about how Jaden Ivey is finally showing how good he is. Monty Williams finally let him loose.
He been showing how good he was.
And how we basically gave up our entire roster for some chips.
Pretty much. Well, some of these chips can play, and maybe they help us get a chip.
Yeah.
But, first of all, let's just, before we get going, let's talk about, like, do you want to go over the trades, or you just want to show who's on the roster? I think we just show who's on the roster. I don't feel like going through all that. Because we didn't get nothing back. But who's on the roster now?
As of this recording, I don't know if they've updated everything because we've waived some players.
Yeah.
We've got Troy Brown, Malcolm Cazelan, Cade, Jalen Duren, Malachi Flynn, Fontecchio, Evan Fournier. Gallinari was waived. Quentin Grimes. Jaden Ivey.
Gallinari was waived. Who did we trade for Gallinari again?
We traded Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Livers.
So we just,
basically we traded Bagley
we
and
just left Marvin
Livers
Bagley and Isaiah Livers at the airport.
for Muscala.
We said, hey, y'all want to go get some ice cream? Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Livers said, yay! And then they took it to the airport and ran off. That's what happened. Because Gallinari, we talked about this. Gallinari, they didn't actually know that he was a pirate. And he showed up with a pig leg. Ahoy, I heard you need some three-point shooting. And he was like, bro, but you can't walk, but I can still shoot. Just pass me the ball when nobody's around. Like, that's what happened.
He's been hobbling for a couple years now.
So why trade for him? That made no sense, but, Yeah, so who else?
I said Quentin Grimes.
Yeah.
Jaden Ivey, who's been balling.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this different. Go back, start over, and then I'm gonna tell you if they can play or not.
Troy Brown Jr.
Troy Brown can play. I've wanted Troy Brown for a couple years. Troy Brown can play. He's a good defender and he can shoot.
Malcolm Cazelan.
He's not gonna be on the team.
Cade.
Next.
Duren.
No, go back to Cade, because we're gonna talk about that.
Okay, Cade.
We're a better team without him, as I told you guys, and we're gonna prove it definitively in this podcast, whatever you want to call it. Next.
Duren.
Duren is we'll see. Duren has been balling. I don't love Duren. I know he's putting up numbers. I'm happy. If he continues to play like this, then okay. But I see inconsistent effort from him. He seems to me like a contract guy that's going to play well when his contract is up. But, I want to see more consistency, more effort from him. Okay? I know what he's capable of, but I don't see the effort.
Malachi Flynn.
He's not going to be on the team.
Fontecchio.
Okay, Fontecchio, I knew nothing about, and neither did Key. I don't know what he's talking about. I knew nothing about him before this last game. He deserves his own segment, so I'm not going to talk about him right now.
Fournier,
I would like him to get dropped off at the same airport that Bagley and Isaiah Livers was dropped off at. Not because he can't play, because I don't want him here, because he's going to mess things up, right? Which is the same thing I said about Bogdanovic. It's not that these guys can't play, but these guys aren't going to be on the team when we win a championship.
Especially when we're trying to build up the talent.
Right. Well, we want to see the talent built up. We don't know what Monty wants to do. So a guy like an Evan Fournier is dangerous. He becomes, Bogdanovic 2.0, which is somebody that's going to steal minutes from Asar. I don't want anybody taking minutes from Asar. That's my whole thing. Okay, next.
Gallinari was waived.
Yes, goodbye.
Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes is one of my guys. Right? Kid knows about this. I have my guys. And when I say he's my guys win. It doesn't matter where they go. I identify guys in the draft. And whatever draft they come out, and I term him, oh, he's one of my guys. Quentin Grimes is one of my guys. He's a great defender. He's a good shooter. He's got a quick release. I'm going to say something that you guys aren't going to believe. But, again, I'm going to show y'all that the things that I've told y'all before have already come true. Quentin Grimes is as good of a shooter as Klay Thompson.
Well, at this stage in their career, Klay Thompson might be out the NBA in 2 years.
Absolutely, but I'm just saying, Quentin Grimes, if you ran plays for Quentin Grimes, and so he can put up the same number. If you look at Klay's numbers aren't that impressive. To be fair, I have never once looked up Klay Thompson. Don't, it's not worth it. But I know he's not a 24, 25 guy. Like Klay Thompson will give you like 20, 21, you know what I'm saying? If you ran plays for Quentin Grimes could average 22 points a game. Just off shooting alone, right? But he's a good defender. He's a very good defender.
He's more athletic than Thompson.
He's more athletic. He's a better playmaker than Thompson. He's not a point guard. He's an off guard. I hope they play him at the right position. And again, as much as I like Quentin Grimes, I don't want him taking a single minute from Marcus Sasser. So, I have a solution for that. You guys aren't going to like it. The Pistons probably not going to do it, but I put stuff out there so when stuff happens, y'all know what's up. Next.
Jaden Ivey.
Don't nothing need to be said. We told you guys before the first regular season game that Jaden Ivey was the best player on the team.
You said
the best offensive player. Right. The best offensive player. The best overall player is Asar. But the best offensive player is Jaden Ivey. Right? And everybody said, oh no, you crazy. Jaden Ivey is just like Russell Westbrook, which should be a compliment. People really need to stop with the hate on Russ. If you make a list of point guards who average a triple-double more than, once in a season, that list is one person big, and that's Russell Westbrook. I think my man did it, Oscar Robertson did it once, maybe twice.
I thought he did it twice.
Russ did it 4 times, right? And you had Magic Johnson during some ceremony say that would never happen again. How is it that you guys love Luka Doncic so much? I know why, but you tell me basketball-wise why you love him so much. You call Luka Doncic the triple-double king, but he's never averaged a triple-double in a season, and he never will. Right? Russ did it 4 times. LeBron is the GOAT. He's the GOAT in this household. If you drop LeBron off in the 90s, Jordan would never win a championship. If you put LeBron right there in 1990, after the Pistons, first of all, 2 things. The Pistons, my beloved Pistons, who I love more than any other team in history, the 89-90 Pistons, I saw them grow up. I saw from 85 on. We just watched that yesterday. The Pistons would not have beaten LeBron 3 straight times. LeBron is too smart. He makes adjustments too well. And there's nobody on that Pistons team, Dennis Rodman included, that wouldn't have been able to handle LeBron. Okay? Period. So if you drop LeBron off in the 90s, in 1990, Jordan never wins a championship unless they play on the same team.
Nobody from the 90s wins one. First of all, Charles Barkley didn't win one with just Jordan.
Right. Charles Barkley was terrible.
Well, what about Hakeem?
Hakeem was going to get his. Hakeem was a once-in-a-generation type player. You know what I'm saying? And Jordan wasn't no slouch. Jordan is the best player of his era. But we have to start saying it. There are dudes, like the Jordan layup that everybody, talks about, right? There are dudes on the end of benches that can do that layup now. There are so many guys, skill-wise, that are better than Jordan. Kevin Durant is better than Jordan. Steph Curry is better than Jordan. Luka, who I'm kid will tell you, I am not a fan of Luka. Am I?
No.
Okay. And I give you all the reasons why. Because he whine and complain after every shot. And they give him calls that they only gave Jordan, which I don't appreciate because Luka's never won a championship. Right? But if you put Luka in the 80s and 90s, Luka is better than Larry Bird. It's not even a question. He would cook the Celtics and everybody else. The game has evolved.
You didn't even say Giannis.
You don't have to say
or Donovan
Giannis.
Mitchell or Ja.
Any of the Ja, Steph, I told you before, I think they would shut the league down.
Ant-Man.
If Steph played in the 80s and 90s. The game has evolved, offensively and defensively. All you old farts out there say, oh, they don't play defense anymore. You don't know what you're talking about. They play tremendous defense now. The difference is, in the 90s, you had to be responsible for a guy from the free throw line to the basket. Imagine how easy it is to play defense from the free throw line to the basket. Now, you have to guard dudes from the hash to the basket.
Half court if it's Trae Young.
If it's Trae, if it's Damian Lillard, if it's Steph, you got to guard them at half court. There's a lot more space. So you as a defender, you have to be better laterally, agility-wise, all of that to cover these guys. And they're better offensively. They're better shooters than ever before. They're better finishers than ever before. Better ball handlers. Better athletes. I love Isaiah Thomas. Steph Curry is better than Isaiah Thomas. Russell Westbrook would cook Isaiah Thomas. He's too big.
Is SGA better than Isaiah?
Yes. Absolutely. Right? So, and it's like those are your heroes and those things are tough to say, but it's just facts. Right? The shot that Jordan hit against Byron Russell, and that's one of his classic shots. And Byron Russell's hand is like right there, and he gets it over. If that's Jared Vanderbilt, that shot gets blocked. If that's Wemby, that shot gets blocked. If that's Giannis, that shot gets blocked. If that's Anthony Davis, maybe even Rudy Gobert, if he has the agility. Like, these guys are longer and stronger than ever before. Jordan was a giant of his era. He was a big guard at 6'6" in the 90s. The next biggest two guard was Joe Dumars, who he struggled against. The next biggest guard was Gary Payton, who Jordan also sometimes struggled against.
I've never said this on air, but I feel like when I watch Jordan highlights, I expect him to do like how LeBron does to other players and just bully them as he gets to the basket. He doesn't really move people. I thought he was stronger than what he was. Given that the 90s players are also weaker than today's players, because you look at Joel Embiid. Who was guarding Joel Embiid in the 90s?
Nobody.
Maybe Shaq.
Bill Laimbeer, no, they're not guarding, right? And again, just to illustrate my point, Jordan came back in 95. All the Jordan fans will forget this. He didn't come back in 96. He came back at the end of 95. And in 95, he went up against two guys who were like futuristic NBA players. And that was Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal. And what happened?
They lost.
They lost. That was a glimpse into the future. You know what I'm saying? So, that doesn't take anything away from Jordan's greatness. That doesn't take anything away from Bird or Isaiah or Magic, right? But these guys have evolved. I don't know how we got off on this subject. But did we finish the roster?
Unless you want to count Shake Milton and Mike Muscala.
Shake Milton shouldn't be here, and Mike Muscala should be on the end of the bench. But we don't have a power forward because my man traded him all the way. Now, there's one more thing I want to say before we get really going. I feel like there's a tug of war going on between Troy Weaver and Monty Williams. I know for a fact that Troy Weaver was upset that Killian Hayes was getting time over Ivey and Sasser, right? And probably Asar Thompson too, even though I'm not 100% sure about that. So what he did,
how you
my
find
opinion,
that out?
this is just conjecture. This is just me reading quotes, watching press conferences. You know I'm very good at reading between the lines. I believe my man traded anybody that could get in the way of Sasser's development and Ivey's development.
So you think he purposefully got back less than what he gave up just
I wouldn't say that.
so the core can develop?
I wouldn't say that, but he got away. He got rid of guys that Monty was playing because Monty is obsessed with three-point shooting only. Getting a guy like Gallinari and Muscala and all that, you're only looking at one aspect of the game. Right? You're not looking at the whole game. That's why when I say things like Asar Thompson is the best player on the team, regular Pistons fans be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He only does this, he only does that. Who's the game that we played? Not the Clippers. Who did we beat before the Clippers? Sacramento.
Yeah.
Asar had 6 points, but he was plus 20. He was the best player on the floor. He made the difference. Right? When Cade was in the game, which we're going to talk about now, they were down 20. They took Cade out. They came all the way back with Sasser and Asar. Right? And then now the last 4 or 5 minutes, Cade did come back. He was on the floor, but the run was made with Cade off the floor. And it's been that way. Alec Burks and Bogdanovich and Asar have been the best plus-minus players the past couple of weeks. Right? What's the Pistons record with Cade?
4-37.
Is it 37 or 47?
It's 37.
4-37. Okay. What's the Pistons record without Cade?
4-6.
Say that again.
The Pistons are 4-37 when Cade plays.
When Cade plays.
And 4-6 when he doesn't play.
Okay. So
that's 9% versus 40.
Who told y'all that we were a better team without Cade? I mean, how many times? And how many times did y'all come on this channel and clown me and all that, right?
Actually, no, we're 4-38 now because of the Clippers game.
Exactly. I'm going to find this tweet. Like, we don't even have to spend time on this. Cade is not a bad player. But the Pistons, the Detroit Pistons are better. When we made those trades, we had Jaden Ivey, Sasser, I don't know who else, the electrician, one of the cheerleaders, and the cameraman, and we still beat the Kings. We beat them with all those guys gone. That's called a clue. Sasser might be the rookie of the year this year if they started him. I really mean that. Sasser could legit average 15, 16 if you started him this year. He would at least be in the conversation. Of course, they're going to give it to Wemby. But he would be top 5 just like Jaden Ivey. So for those of you calling for Troy Weaver head, well, I understand it. You have to look at our history. Troy Weaver is a great drafter. You have to give him that. You got Sasser with the 20-something pick. He's one of the top rookies. So while everybody's talking about what we got back, what we didn't get back, what we got back hopefully was Asar Thompson. What we got back was Sasser. I know they were already here, but we moved those guys out the way. Okay? If you take Cade out the equation, we wouldn't be whatever we are right now. We'd be a better team, and we'd be closer to winning a championship if he was not here. Right?
Even in the losses we've had without Cade, the games were
closer.
very, very close.
Yes.
I should probably look up like the margin of victory.
Well, you should have did that before we started.
If StatMuse has something like
because
that.
Because we have to talk about a lot of stuff. But it's clear. For basketball people, it's clear. Now watch this. Watch this now. You didn't even know about this until I just told you.
Nope.
The Pistons played the Clippers, not this last time, the time before last. Russell Westbrook says Jaden Ivey is special. He's special. Detroit has a special play. He said Jaden Ivey. He did not say Cade Cunningham.
He didn't say Asar, though.
We're just talking, okay? Donovan Mitchell, the Cavs game, which the Pistons almost won. What did Donovan Mitchell say? Jaden Ivey, man, he's talented. Man, that guy can play. I was talking to him, telling him to keep his head up. I know y'all losing. He can play. Ball recognize ball. Players recognize players. They know who's good and who's not. So the only people that don't know that Ivy is better than Cade is the Detroit Pistons organization. And I don't know if it's because I've said this before. We cut videos and didn't upload them and stuff. You get, crazy things happen. But we made a video a couple weeks ago that would look a lot better if we had uploaded it, when we said maybe the Detroit Pistons organization is colorist. Maybe they draft guys who are light-skinned or white just for the simple fact that they light-skinned or white. And we've seen that up and down. Luke Kennard over Donovan Mitchell. There's not a basketball reason why you would do that.
We're still hurting from that.
We're still hurting from that.
And I think we're hurting finally, because I've been saying Luke Kennard and Donovan Mitchell was the worst one. But I finally will say Killian versus Halliburton, who is also light-skinned.
Right, that wasn't a colorist thing. That was just so we don't know how to, evaluate players. You think that's the worst one now?
That was a Troy pick, though.
Yo, without question. Oh, that was horrible. That was horrible. And, I can't find it because I don't have Twitter anymore. But I'm trying to find the tweet that I made the day or the night of the draft before Killian Hayes was drafted. If somebody find it, I'll pay you because I'm going to post it on the banner to this channel. And I literally said, if the Pistons draft Killian Hayes over Tyrese Halliburton, it will set us back 5 years. I said that. And Detroit Bad Boys laughed at me. They might have reposted it or something.
Well, maybe you should look there. Look in there.
Yeah, but they got like 1 million tweets. But I'm just saying, if somebody find it, let me know. It's going to be by Black Stock Guy. That's the Twitter that I used to have. And what do we have happen? This year, Halliburton is an all-star. Halliburton has been traded. He's still an all-star. And Killian Hayes,
he's on his couch.
Y'all just waved him. Y'all didn't even lie and say y'all gonna take him to go get ice cream. At least Marvin Bagley and them, y'all lied and y'all got something back. Nobody wanted Killian. And if there's an indictment about Troy Weaver, it's that y'all gave Killian way too many chances, and you hurt the team by doing so. There were other guys that could have been developed that deserve development. Look at Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith can play. Dennis Smith is balling. We had him. I'm not saying he's a championship player, right? But he's better than Killian. You chose Killian over Dennis Smith. He's helping who we play for, the Nets, I think, right now.
Yeah.
He's helping them, right? Who was the other guard that we had that went down to the G League, ended up on the Suns? I forget his name. But he could play. He went down to the G League, scored 40.
Does he have an S in his name?
Something.
Saban Lee.
Saban Lee's better than Killian Hayes. Right? But, they just insisted on doing that.
Well, I think when you look back, everything has to happen, I guess, for a reason. If we pick up Halliburton, I don't think we're in the position to pick up Ivy as well. So
you don't know that, but you have to take it how it happened. You don't know that. I hear what you're saying, but I would rather have Halliburton than Killian. It don't matter what comes after. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, they got every European player that they could, which I don't mind if they can hoop. If they can hoop, hey, come on with it. We don't care about that stuff. We do not care. But it seems to me like they're drafting and picking guys that fit a certain look that they want to have for whatever reason. Maybe it sells more tickets. I don't know. Right? Rather than a basketball thing.
It's not even a good investment either
because
you trade for these players and then you end up getting rid of them
with nothing
for no value, and you've basically sent another player to another team for free.
Yeah. So, we said that 2 weeks ago. We didn't upload the video because we got busy. Now, look at the trade. Who have they brought in the trades? Just name the people. Dino. I'm saying everybody, even the ones that's not here no more. Name them. Why you gotta look?
Troy Brown, Malachi Flynn. Gallinari.
Muscala.
Malachi Flynn. Simone Fontecchio. Fournier.
Okay, dude, it's mostly white guys. Okay, that's what it's been. Which again, it don't matter if they can hoop. If we brought in Luka, okay.
Yeah. We also brought in Ryan Arcidiacono, who's also not on the list anymore. He played 20 games. I don't think he scored a point.
And I don't even understand why you do that. So like I said, we can't be having this thing where we're just bringing in dudes for a look, for aesthetic, for it. That stuff don't matter, bro. And I know for a fact that was a factor. I do know this. In the Darko pick, it was a factor. Right? The Pistons owner thought Carmelo was a thug because he had braids. That's what he thought. And that's why I'm still believing that they made Jaden Ivey cut his hair. I'm still believing that's the reason.
I noticed something in that Pistons documentary.
What?
When Bill Laimbeer was on Cleveland, his hair was longer. So they kind of sort of did the same thing to him if the owner was the same.
He was the same owner, and you did point that out. I had never noticed that. First of all, I didn't pay attention to Bill Laimbeer in Cleveland. But yeah, he had a mullet in Cleveland. Comes to Detroit, he cusses it. Like, dude, we don't have time for that.
And yet, just because this is the 2000s, just 10 years earlier, we were embracing the mantra of being bad. So why is it all of a sudden we don't want thugs now?
All right, but first of all, nobody's a thug. Ain't no thugs in the NBA. You need to throw that word out. These are professional basketball players, bro. It don't matter what color you are. These are pros. It's only these old-ass owners that have these washed type of mindsets that they think like this. They're thinking about tickets. They're thinking about marketing. I'm telling you right now, the reason why they're pushing Cade Cunningham over Jaden Ivey is because of marketing in their mind. Nothing has been proven to be true, but in their mind, that's what they're thinking, right? And that's wrong. You can't push the worst player, of the two because of marketing. It's also because he's the first pick and they value that. But any basketball person worth their salt, worth their weight in salt, can see that Jaden Ivey is better than Cade Cunningham. Period. Right? So, and then the team, most important, if Cade was averaging 30 and 10 and 10, but they were still 4 and 38 with him and 4 and 6 without him, you have to look at that and like, you know what? We're a better team without him for whatever reason. So let's try to get what we can. And let's move in that direction. All right. So now, that being said, I want to talk about the guys that we have. Right. Here's what I would do. And again, if you're part of the Cade choir, you're not gonna like this. The Pistons are a better team without Cade, and we now have the pieces that we can start to go towards, winning the championship. I'm not saying these guys are gonna be the guys, but we can, you got to start with some guys, right? I would get rid of Cade. I would get rid of him, and I would start Grimes. Okay, I know that.
I thought you said you didn't want him to take minutes from Sasser. I thought he would start.
Did you hear what I just said? I would start Grimes. Nobody's gonna take any minutes from Sasser. I'm going to start Grimes and send Cade away for as much as I can get. I'm going to obviously start Asar. We still don't have a power forward. But for now, after one game, based on what I've seen, Fontecchio is big enough to start at the 4, and his defense is better than Muscala's. It's not, Chet Holmgren defense. It's not Kevin Garnett defense. It's not championship defense. But he plays better defense than Muscala. I would start him, and then I would start Durant. That team can win some games. Ivy is your guy, no question. When I say your guy, I'm saying the team. Ivy is a 30-point per game guy.
Which you have said before.
Which I have said, and everybody clowned me. But what has he been averaging the last 4 games before the last one? You don't know?
No.
It was 27.7 is what he's been averaging. Okay? So he's showing you that, and he's not getting any calls. So he's doing that, not getting no call. He was cooking them clear. Is Kawhi considered a great defender?
Yes.
Paul George?
Yes.
Yeah, he is. Ivy was cooking them boys last night. Ivy did the Russ while Russ was, that hop skip move that Russ does. Ivy did that last night.
Oh, that's who it's from? Because
Yeah.
I thought he just does that.
No, Russ created that. Right? So, Ivy is your guy. Nobody can stop the dude. And he's shooting. Hello? He's a better 3-point shooter than Cade. I told y'all that. Y'all told me I was crazy. Right? He's a better defender than Cade. He's a better ball distributor than Cade. He doesn't turn the ball over like Cade. Did I miss something?
Now, he did have 6 turnovers in that game.
He had 5. He had 7 assists and 5. But game to game, he has a better assist to turnover ratio historically than Cade. Now, Cade has been getting better the last couple weeks. But Ivy is better than him. Grimes can shoot the blood. He's a much better defender. The big issue with Cade is his defense. You mentioned it. What did you say about Cade recently? Watching him, what did you say?
I said that it seems like he's slowing down, and in a minute he's going to be like Luka in terms of how slow he is.
Yes.
But with not as good moves.
No. And you pointed that out. And another thing with Cade, why you got to get rid of him, how many times this man going to get hurt? It's only his 3rd season. What is this, his 3rd time he's been hurt?
Really second, because he didn't really play most
But
of it.
this is technically his 3rd season. He's going to be looking for a contract next year. And he might be a hurt guy. And one thing I say is what?
Hurt guys get hurt.
Hurt guys get hurt. And he might be hurt. It's like it's nothing you can do. I was a hurt guy. I always got hurt. I was great, but I got hurt. A lot. So, and that speaks to like, your body, your bones, I done broke wrists and, the last injury, I tore my Achilles, I hurt my knee playing football. I just always got hurt. And that has to do with like your recovery and your tendons and stuff like that. I'm not the most flexible guy. Even back then, even though I was fast, I wasn't super flexible. So that kind of stuff matters. Right? So you don't want to pay a contract to a dude who might be a hurt guy. So, but I'm telling you, Grimes can play. Is he an all-star or something? No. He plays defense. He can shoot. That's what Troy Weaver said they want to do. Okay? We know Asar, y'all don't know how good he is yet. Asar is the best player on the team right now. Talk to me in 2 years. Asar is a 20-plus point per game guy. 2 steals, 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, 5, 6 assists. When he, gets into his prime, he going to be a 24, 25 guy if they let him play. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing, though. I feel like Asar is sort of like resigning himself to just being a off-the-ball guy and not trying to score on his own. Because he literally only gets dunks when people throw it to him. I don't like that. He was crossing people up and putting them on the floor in OTE. So I want to see that Asar come back.
I mean, that's coaching.
Maybe I'm talking about a man.
No, you're talking about Asar too. Asar and a man played in the same league. Who won the MVP?
Asar.
Twice. Okay? So, but yes, if you tell a guy that he's something, he will only believe that he's that thing. They're not coaching him right. You know? Like you said, he's not even, that's one thing I love about Fontecchio. Fontecchio came in and was like, oh, I'm Jordan. Bro took 19 shots. His first game, you know how confident you got to be?
He's only been averaging like 7 to 8 points for his career. So.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been given the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's good. You need a guy like that. But that's who I would start. Ivey, Grimes, Asar, Fontecchio, and Duran. And we're going to D you up. Ivey's going to create for Grimes. You know, Asar's going to create for Ivey. Remember, Ivey can shoot. He's not just like one of those guys that can create. Fontecchio's going to spread the floor.
Yeah, other than Duran, this is going to be a crazy shooting lineup.
Duran, right. Go ahead.
I don't know where I don't know if Ivey's went to lethal shooter or not, but he's been going like 7 for 7 or 5 for 6 from 3 his last 3 games.
It's called development. It's called that's what happens when you let guys play. He shot 34% his rookie year. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So I don't know like where these Pistons fans get this idea Ivey couldn't play, he couldn't shoot. He shot 34% or something his rookie year. That's hard. Right? So you're going to get better the next year if you keep working. Right? I also saw something, him and Russ was talking on the court. Ivey's arms is bigger than Russ's.
Yeah, Ivey's buff.
Ivey is huge. Like, bro, where did he wasn't like that when he was drafted. Right? So, you know, he's doing all the right things.
34.3% his first year and 37.4, which actually seems kind of low for.
Well, remember they didn't start him. 37 is great, bro. James Harden not shooting 37.
I'm just saying with the way he's been shooting.
But he's streaky, so he's gonna have these streaks where he can't miss, and then he'll have some lulls. You know, that's who he is. That's okay. But a dude shooting 37 with that speed, right? How long did it take for De'Aaron Fox? Look at what De'Aaron Fox is shooting, right? Because I'm gonna say something. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I'm the one that told everybody De'Aaron Fox was a star. Okay? When Sacramento fans wanted to get rid of him, I'm like, stay with him. I'm like, De'Aaron Fox can average 30.
Fox is shooting 37.9% this year.
Okay. What did he shoot his rookie year?
30.
There you go. Right? So that means Ivey can get even better. But it took him, let's go down his years. 30, what did he shoot after that?
37.1.
The second year?
Yes. Then
Really?
29.2.
Uh-huh.
Then 32.2.
Uh-huh.
Then 29.7.
Uh-huh.
32.4.
Wow.
And now this year, this is
It took him 6-7 years.
highest career average.
6-7 years to get to that. This is Ivey's second year. Now, to be fair, De'Aaron Fox shot 37% his second year too. So hopefully he don't, have that type of situation. But this point in their careers, second year versus second year, hear what I'm saying? Don't get it misconstrued. Jaden Ivey is better than De'Aaron Fox. Second year versus second year, he's better. Right? So when you have that kind of talent, and I love De'Aaron. I've been wanting De'Aaron Fox since the draft. That was the Donovan Mitchell draft as well.
Yeah, one of the best drafts ever.
One of the best drafts,
Jason
especially
Tatum,
guards.
Malik Monk, Donovan, Dennis. When we thought he would be good.
He's still in the league. All those guys are better than Fultz.
Yeah, well, he resurrected himself a little bit.
A little bit.
He was worse than Killian Hayes at one point.
I
Worse
don't know
than
about
this
that.
newest version.
I don't
Comparing
know about
rookie
that.
to rookie, there's no comparison.
Yeah. You got to give guys time, but you can't give them as much time as they gave Killian. You got to let dudes move on. So that's what I'm saying. Now, my dude Fontecchio, I what I also don't want to see, but I don't want to see it. I wouldn't be mad if it happened, but knowing the Pistons, they'll try to put Fontecchio in front of Asar. And the difference is, unlike Bogdanovich, Fontecchio can do it. Fontecchio can play a little bit of D. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that. I want to see Fontecchio be that dude off the bench. He can do that. Troy Brown as well. So that's why I said they're not going to take minutes from Sasser. Sasser's going to be the backup point guard. So you bring him on. You have Fontecchio off the bench. You have Troy Brown off the bench. Right? And then we just need, a big or two. Right? The Pistons are closer to a championship. I'm telling you than you think. I know that sounds crazy.
Yeah, now.
They're closer to it. All we need, honestly, we're really one player away. We're really one. Do you believe that?
I don't know if that one player is attainable because those are the only players I'm thinking of.
Who are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about the upper echelons, the Giannis's, the KDs.
Yes, not KD, but if you put Giannis on the Pistons and keep everybody, they're a contender. If you put Chet Holmgren, I'm telling you, Chet Holmgren is that dude.
Well, he's going to be in OKC for the next 4 years. So.
You hope. They keep hating on him, so you don't know.
Who's hating on who?
It's a little bit of a riff-raff over there. We ain't going to talk about that now, but if you can find the next Chet Holmgren, which is going to be tough, we're one power forward who can stretch the floor. Right? I said, who did I say the other day? You remember? Evan Mobley.
I thought you said somebody else.
I said, you keep getting his name
No, I'm saying you
wrong.
said two people.
I said Evan Mobley. That's it. You thought I was talking about Evan Fournier. I'm like, nope. He could do it to a lesser degree, but he could do it. We just need a four that can stretch and play defense and rebound. And those guys are very, very hard to find. But they're not that far away. Look at what we just played, the number 2 team in the West. And we was leading.
2-3. It's sort of a 3-way tie right now.
We was leading the whole time. And only because of the refs and inexperience, we lost the game. Those are the type of things that you want to see. You know what I'm saying? Anything you got to add?
Let Asar do what he does. I feel like I say that in every video, but
Yeah.
I don't think the NBA, well, I think maybe the NBA
The
does.
NBA does, yes.
The Pistons don't realize that they have a literal monster on their team if
Yeah.
they let him loose.
Yeah.
So I want to see him turn into mini LeBron, and if that happens, we don't need another player. We got prime Jaden Ivey, prime Asar. That should be enough.
We still need that power forward. No championship team, with the exception of the Bulls, maybe, has had. I'm trying to hold this mic, y'all. Has had didn't have a power forward who could stretch and play D. Like I said, Kevin Garnett, Rasheed Wallace, Tim Duncan to a lesser degree because he wasn't stretching out to the 3. But he was stretching out to mid-range. Kevin Garnett was also mid-range. That was also 2007, 2008. It's a little bit different now. You have to have that guy. Even Denver, Jokic don't play defense, but he stretches. I know he's a center. But no, they had Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon has turned himself into a good defender.
Yeah, which is weird.
Super weird.
You used to yell at the screen, why isn't Aaron Gordon better than what he is?
Yes.
And once he got to Denver, he turned into the new version of Charles Barkley.
Well, a better version. But yeah, he was one of those guys that I felt like, yo, man, this guy should be averaging 30. So same thing. Aaron Gordon can shoot threes. Same thing. So pretty much every team. Bill Laimbeer, right? He played defense in his own way. Go watch those games. He's affecting shots. He's not blocking shots, but he's affecting them. Right? So, and Fontecchio could be, maybe he's that. He's not going to block shots, but if he can Bill Laimbeer that thing, he can shoot better than Bill Laimbeer. He's a better shooter than Bill Laimbeer. You know what I mean? So we need that type of guy. I believe Ivy is a star, right? I know that Asar is a star. I know that. And then we'll see what happens with Duran. But the numbers he's putting up, okay, like that's ridiculous. But I want to see him, put forth more effort and everything like that. And then this bench, you have a Fontecchio. We had a good bench before we traded. Everybody Burks and like you can get guys like that. Like the Lakers about to get Dinwiddie for free. You didn't know that?
Why?
Yeah, because I guess Brooklyn waived him or something, wherever he was. He just walked over to LA and he's about to sign with him. So when you about to win a championship, you can always get guys when you got those top guys. Maybe we'll get Giannis if the Bucks lose, this year, which I think they will. So, that's it. We're not that far away, man. The other reason why you gotta get rid of Cade is you're not gonna be able to afford. And I've been saying this. You can't afford Ivy and Asar and Duran and Cade. Out of those 4 guys, you can only choose 3 of them.
Maybe 2, because you can't have 4 maxes on the same team. Even the Clippers, Kawhi's getting paid.
Yeah.
Paul George is getting paid,
yeah.
but James Harden took a pay cut, I think. And Russ is getting paid like
$5 million or something.
Dwight Howard when he was still in the NBA.
Absolutely. So, I think you can do 3, though. I think you can do 3. But you cannot do 4. Right? And the worst thing that they could do is side with Cade and not one of those other guys. That's what we're saying. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm Coach.
I'm the kid.
We out.